One of the trickiest things to deal with in stocking up on food for long-term storage is storing fats, oils, butter, things like that. Because they don't have an especially long shelf life, these things can begin to go rancid. So in a lot of my preps, I have things like dehydrated potatoes and things like that. I could fry them up, make them into hash browns. I have dehydrated onions, all sorts of vegetables. These are things that would be great tossed with a little bit of olive oil or some butter. But these things are really hard to store for a long time. I've tried dehydrated butter powder, reconstituting it and melting it, and it just doesn't work. So I was really interested when I came across a product by a company called Red Feather, and it's simply canned butter. There doesn't seem to be anything crazy about it. It's simply pasteurized cream and salt. But the Red Feather company out of New Zealand apparently has figured out a way to nicely can it. They've been around for a long time, I believe. And this thing is supposed to be shelf stable for a long time. I don't know exactly how long. In fact, on this can, there's not a date of any sort anywhere to be found. There's not a use by date. There's not an expiration date. There's nothing. But I'm not gonna let that stop me. I'm gonna pop this can open and give it a little taste test. It kills me a little bit to do it because this can was $8. $8 for butter that will just happen to be shelf stable for a long time. After I open it, it's not gonna last that long. It'll probably be just like any other butter. So, well, for the sake of this video, I'm gonna open it up and give it a little test. All right, let's pop this can open. It's stuck on there pretty well. Well, right off the bat, it looks pretty much like butter. It smells like butter, except just a little weirder. There's some kind of smell to it that's not exactly like what I would expect in fresh butter. I don't know. Seems like maybe it was artificially colored a bit, but the ingredients don't say anything about artificial color, so I don't know. I guess it's not. Well, let's spread it on something and see how it tastes. I don't know why I'm skeptical. I have no reason to be. It's just butter. This is room temperature, so it's nice and soft. Let's see if it tastes the same as regular butter. I don't know, maybe in New Zealand their cows are different and they have milk that tastes different. I don't know. It tastes like butter, but there's something else about it. I don't know, I can't quite place it. It actually tastes processed to me. It tastes more like a cheap margarine to me than real butter, but I know it's real butter. It doesn't taste the same to me as fresh butter that I would have bought at the store. Well, I say fresh. I should say refrigerated butter. I don't know. Like I say with a lot of these sort of emergency survival foods, if this was my only option, I'd probably feel pretty thrilled to have it. this piece of toast is not incredibly hot anymore, so maybe that's why this butter doesn't look like it's melting into it like it would if this had just come out of a toaster a second ago. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the difference I'm picking up is that it's more of a like a whipped butter. I think it said it on here somewhere. Maybe it was on the lid that I already threw away. Maybe it's whipped in a way that like a stick of butter wouldn't quite be, and maybe that's why it just sort of hits my mouth a little bit differently. But well, I got one more thing I want to try. I want to see how well it melts. All right, what's something that you use butter for that requires it to be melted? I'm thinking a fried egg. So I'll just put a little bit in there. And so far, so good. I'll tell you what, it sure melts a lot better than rehydrated butter powder. Yeah, I mean it melts down just like regular butter. I know this isn't a fried egg taste test video, but what good would be testing out this butter if I didn't use it in a couple of common applications? And using it to cook something in a frying pan is one of the more common applications that I use it for. You know, I'm quite sure that it would be just fine to use in baking. I don't really make a lot of baked goods, sweets, and things like that, so I don't really care. Maybe if I was making cornbread, if I had canned butter, I guess I could keep all of the ingredients for cornbread in a long-term sort of way. Oh, my heat's a little too high here. Hang on. Well, I don't know if that's a side effect of the butter or what, but this thing's crackling a whole lot more than my fried eggs usually do. I'm gonna chalk that up to user error though, because I don't really know how that could have affected anything really. Well, I guess I've got overall positive review on the Red Feather canned butter. At $8 a can. I'm not sure if I'm going to go ahead and stock up on a whole bunch of it right now. But yeah, I guess if that was my option for butter, I'd like it. That being said, even if it costs no more than normal butter from the store, I don't think I would start buying it instead of that. There's just something a little weird about it to me, which maybe that's just to be expected. It's a side effect of being processed, of being canned. What was the process like to can it? Was it sealed under some kind of heat that normal butter in the States isn't pasteurized under? I know you were a little worried that the tester wasn't going to get her dues. Fear not. She's always going to get hers. So yeah, if you've tried Red Feather canned butter, let me know what you thought of it. I haven't seen any other canned butter products out there, at least not in the normal places I look. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Out of 10 stars, I guess I'd give it about an 8. I mean, considering what it is, I give it a 10 if it's butter that can last on my shelf for years. As far as taste of what I'm, come to expect out of butter, a little less than 10 stars. So that's it. I'm going to finish this up, and I'm sure someone else will help me. Until next time, this is Great Lakes Prepping.